Panera. Panera is in the news today because of some very unfortunate circumstances that have happened. Jason, what was the last thing we talked about Panera?
Someone actually, unalived because of it.
Yes, and the same thing happened again. So the thing is, the Panera's charged lemonade is back in the news because it is being blamed again for a second unfortunate incident that had occurred. So I don't know if you heard about this, but the thing is that this man, Dennis Brown, age 46, from Fleming Island, Florida, drank 3 charged lemonades from a local Panera on October 9th, then
Okay.
suffered a fatal cardiac arrest on his way home. I actually went back and looked at our old video of this because we did talk about Panera the first time that this has happened.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something very important within there because it was that you could get multiple charged lemonades.
Oh, yeah. You can just refill that thing as much as you want.
Yes. So that is the very unfortunate thing that basically happened because there's really no way to necessarily stop you from getting more.
I feel like at that point, there's no way to stop you from getting anything.
That's true.
I mean, even though things say oh, don't eat Tide Pods, and then people still ate them,
Oh yeah, you're right.
Like,
you're right.
obviously it's not food, and then it's like, but there's people that will eat it still,
That's
even with warnings.
That is true. They still are warning you about not eating them. By the way,
they're so delicious looking.
Oh my god!
They're like giant gushers.
Oh my god, that is insane that that's even happening. But the thing is too that we went to Panera, we did our some market research and
we did some on the scene
investigation. Yeah, so we saw a bunch of signs, talking or a bunch of signs warning people about the charged lemonade, warning people about some of the dangers that it poses. If you have health complications, don't drink it, stay away from it. But the thing is that this is the second lawsuit that's happening against Panera, and they're essentially saying the same thing that happened the first time, that there wasn't enough warning about the charged lemonade on how dangerous it is for the consumers.
I feel like it's only dangerous to people who are really caffeine sensitive, like the 2 people were.
Yeah, they were. And the interesting statistic here is that the average amount that a healthy individual could have is up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. And the thing is, this charged lemonade, I believe a large has about 300.
Yeah, 398 or something. It's right to the max.
Yeah, so 3 of these is so much caffeine.
Yeah, because in my mind, I'm it shows on directly in your face. The thing is that it says that it has the same amount of caffeine that a coffee, like a equivalently sized coffee would have. And the thing is that I think people don't understand that people don't drink coffees that are 30 ounces,
Oh my God. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Just because it's delicious and sweet doesn't change the fact that they said people will say that that's a misunderstanding. You look at that and oh, people can misunderstand. It's people, I guess, who misunderstand that obviously don't know what a coffee is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't typically buy, if you go to a Starbucks and you get a grande or even a venti. A venti is 20 ounces.
Yeah.
So, that's a really big cup of coffee, and you're basically you're drinking a Trenta.
Yeah. And by the way, with the Trenta, they don't even offer a majority of those drinks in that size.
No, it's usually the coolers.
Yes. They don't.
which are caffeine free typically.
Yeah, so they limit the size on that. But I have one very last important detail to this story. But before that, if you want to stay up to date on interesting content like this, consider hitting that subscribe button and leaving a like or comment down below. It's always interesting to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, and we have a library of over 200 videos, and there's probably something there that you'd be interested in looking at.
Yeah, and the very last thing about this story, it's a little hard and a little sad
Yeah.
because the thing is that this lawsuit also mentions that Mr. Brown had high blood pressure,
Yeah.
a developmental delay, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder,
Uh-huh.
and a chromosome disorder that caused intellectual disability and blurry vision. So he was part of a vulnerable group. So
Okay.
essentially, like, he probably couldn't see, or maybe he didn't fully understand the
What he
warning
was drinking?
signs. Yeah, or what he was drinking. This is what it's also like stated in the lawsuit.
Nice.
Yeah, it makes it hard.
Does he typically have someone with him? Like someone
No,
no
I think he was coming.
caretaker?
I think he had just gotten off his job. I forgot where.
Oh, okay.
And then he stopped by the Panera and then walked home. I believe that's what had happened. And then on his
Interesting.
walk home, that he suffered cardiac arrest. So I know it makes it very difficult, especially in situations like that, because it throws in a lot
Yeah.
more factors into
Because
like,
he's not your average consumer that you would have to think about when you're making this product. Because a lot of times you would think that like, oh, like this is plenty. Like you have a sign that says X, like this has this much and that, but
yeah.
there could, I mean, like effectively it'd be like saying that trying to keep it away from like a kid. Like try not to offend anybody, but like a lot of these types of things are like you don't want to have a kid have access to substances that may hurt them or whatever, so you keep them out of the way. Like, oh, if you a lot of the like bleach or any other like substance that like could cause injury, or even like medication or like Advil or something, like keep it away from kids, whatever. So keep it away from their ability to get to it. So it's tough because like at what point is it too restraining for the consumer? Like I guess like in this case, like there is a lot of caffeine, but like I don't know, that's like the selling point of the charged lemonade is that it's caffeinated.
Yeah, and the thing is too, by the way, there's just a lot more to this as well in terms of like influencers also promoting the charged lemonade, saying it's like the best value in terms of caffeine that you're getting.
I mean, it's
And
true.
and then it's like they're also talking about like because the thing is like it was part of the Unlimited Sips Club.
Yes.
That you're able to get as much as you want, essentially.
You just come back as many times as you want for as many refills on any drink.
Yes, and literally we talked about this like a few weeks ago as the story was breaking, and now we're talking about it again for a second time. So it is. I think hopefully they do something about this, but Panera says that they are not taking any responsibility in this case because they had already like warned the consumer about this.
Yeah.
They had put signs up. We saw some of the signs that were already up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like there's a whole in their what they're probably going to go and say as a corporation is that there is a reasonable attempt to warn the consumer. At some point, it's on the consumer to make their own judgment on what to get. But I think we mentioned this in the previous video where that maybe this specific lemonade should be kept behind the counter and then like have the employees like make a discretion, like, okay, it's like it's one of these per visit, or whatever, like, or you can only have so many per, like even if you have a Sips Club member, like you can only come here and get one per day or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually took the Panera charged lemonade and put it behind the counter.
No, they did not.
They did not. I remember that they like because I went to Panera and they had it gone. They just took it out.
Oh, they just took it. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that happened more recently.
Yeah, and then I don't know if they put it back, but I believe they did put it back. Um, after that whole incident that had happened. But yes, let us know your comments down below or your thoughts down below about this. Yeah, I would want to hear your guys' thoughts on like this specific situation. It is an unfortunate situation, but I believe what you said about Panera making like a reasonable attempt to warn people.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to be falling back on.
Yeah, I think they're gonna, say like, people would know the inherent, like the average consumer would have known the inherent risks, and one other thing is to make of note is that out of the millions of people that potentially have had this lemonade, only two people have like had this issue, and it's two people that were very sensitive to this thing. Like, so in terms of like the average consumer was, fine for the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah, because you're right. It could be like, yeah, an average person, and that's the FDA coming out with the 400 milligrams that a healthy person would say. So they probably are going to say it's like, yeah, maybe put limit 1 or something. I don't know.
I mean, typically like places that serve alcohol will also like, stop. It's like, hey, you need,
like
hey buddy,
yeah, you're like
calm
limit
down.
2. Yes, but let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Yeah, do you think you would still get charged lemonade, or have you even tried charged lemonade?
Yeah, let us know.